that this is a good thing because even up until now, I've seen a lot of good things happen, a lot of progress for Unity of Sacramento, especially since Rev Kev has been here for the last 12 years. We did leaps and bounds since he's been here. And I feel like him going away to do this is just a benefit for us. Because it's like they say, each one teach one, and that's what Rev Kev does. Whatever he learns, he comes back, he shares it with us, and we learn from it.
There is no such thing as an unchangeable thing. There are simply unchanged hearts and unchanged minds.
So this is like we're going to school with him. And so even though he's going to be doing the hard work.
I want you to know that I've been working hard here on the campus at Harvard University. You probably heard that all of my letter grades for the first term were all A's, and nothing but A's on that report card. I'm so grateful.
We will also benefit from it, and as always, he will come back and he will share with us, and we will grow also because of his growth.
Kevin Roth.
Come on, everybody, join me and stand on your feet as we welcome back our spiritual leader of Unity of Sacramento International Spiritual Center, the Reverend Dr. Kevin Cottrell Ross.
Oh, yes! Everybody should have a Reverend Eric Ovid Donaldson in their lives, yes? Come on, give our brother Rev some love and appreciation. Give it to him, give it to him! Look at you, look at you, look at you, look at you, look at you. You're looking good. Come on, let's give thanks to God for this great accomplishment of our own. I mean, you may be seated if you can. We are deep in the overflow, are we not? Let's celebrate that choir again, who's been holding it down. Redalia, where are you? Yes. Give Redalia Kilson some love and appreciation. Moving in a spirit that Reverend Charles Cooper Jr. would be proud of. Chet Swalik and Chakra. Where's Deb Garcia? Our operations manager. Yeah. Come on, give it to her. Yeah. Our board of trustees, stand up wherever you are. Come on, look at the leaders at Unity of Sacramento. Any board emeritus folks in here, any board folks who've served previously, stand on up, because chances are great you've been serving too. Wonderful. Yes. How good it is to see you in the living flesh. All right, all right. She says, looking good. I'm going to have to agree with you on that. Feeling good. And let the Ross family stand on up. Anita Ross, your First Lady. Angelina Ross. Camila Ross. Caden Cottrell Ross. Sanchez Cottrell Ross. My beautiful family. You know, some say it was a sacrifice on their part, but I believe it was an investment. It was a huge investment on their part for a world that we believe is possible, and so I just want to give thanks. Anita Ross and the family of dragons. That's my Ross family. So many people to thank, and consider this day a time and an opportunity for us to stop and celebrate one another, because indeed this is our accomplishment. Whose accomplishment? It is our accomplishment, and it speaks volumes. You have become on the spiritual journey in order to see what was possible in yourselves. So congregation, congratulations to you. Why don't you stand up and let us love you a little bit? Let me love you. Give the Unity of Sacramento congregation some love and appreciation. All the ways that you have served and given and been committed. You know, I was just returning from the Unity Conference, and they were talking about you all at the Unity Conference. Rev Kev, can we trade congregations with you? Can you send your folks down to our church? And no, I'm keeping my people. I don't know. But how good it is to have our larger Unity community recognize who you are and what you are in order to allow such a thing to occur. And so I'm so grateful. With us today, and a little bit later in the program, he'll be sharing a few words with us. He blessed our community yesterday in a pot. Did he do it, y'all? Did he do it? In a very powerful way, not only our church, but this entire region yesterday. We had the privilege of having in a workshop here yesterday, and just a new friend of the heart and soul, a fearless leader for our teachings, along with his magnificent wife. Will you stand, Brother Rev, Shad Groverland and Erinda Groverland. The president of Unity Worldwide Ministries is in the building today. Yes. Apparently, I did not receive the memo related to the dress code. And so I'm going to try to keep it brief on this over 100-degree day. But if the truth be told, I have not taken this off since graduation. Rev Eric says, well, at least take the cap off. Just take the cap off. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll take the cap off. And I see so many of my friends and loved ones. Reverend Georgia is in the building. Beloved Katie Lonk is in the building. Son Jamar is in the building. So many of you. We'll have time to celebrate. Love you all. Let's get down to why we're here, to really reconnect ourselves as a spiritual community. Matthew 5:9 says, "Blessed are the peacemakers." David. "For they shall be called the children of God." I want you to be with that for a minute. I want you to consider another passage that talks about us as children. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, and I thought as a child, and I reasoned as a child. But when I became fully grown, I put away, come on, child. All right, just start creating some stacks for yourself, just putting some things in your ears. Because I'd like for us to walk together and think about this topic that moves us away from the childish things. Childish ideologies, childish ways of moving through the world, childish paradigms with which we see ourselves and our relationship to the planet. Now, for all the children present, let me be clear. I am not saying that we should not be like children. In fact, we ought to be more like children. I think it was Jesus who said that if we do not become more like the children, we shall in no wise inherit the kingdom. So right away, I want to make a distinction between being childish and childlike. This is not an assault or an attack on children, but an invitation to become more like the children who move through life with courageous curiosity and moral imagination and can see a world that's already operating together. And they just want to play with each other in peace. Is that right? Yes. So my title for this message is "It's All About Us." Celebrating the power of the beloved community. What is it all about? It's all about us. As Jesus was punctuating his ministry, bringing it to a close, he speaks to his disciples one more time. And he says to them, "These things that I do, you will be able to do these things, but," come on, "greater things." Everybody say what? Greater things than this shall you do. And of course, we are still in the earth school, busying ourselves in the thick of thin things, engaged in the lesser things of life. And so since we're so busy in the lesser things, it's very difficult for us to get on to the, come on, greater things. Why are we confronted with the lesser things? And I'm going to talk about what those lesser things are. The lesser things come to us so that we may build come into our lives so that we may build the mental, emotional, physical, and what? Spiritual fitness in order to address the, come on, greater things. What are the lesser things that we are here to address first? Because ultimately, we are seeking to address a paradigm or philosophy that produces a world of shame, suffering, sickness, and separation. This is the lesser thing, the mindset, the philosophy, the ethos that produces a world of what? Shame, suffering, sickness, and separation. Tell somebody, we've got to handle the lesser thing. Tell them, we've got to handle the lesser thing. And it is this narrow, myopic ethos or worldview or mindset that is responsible for creating and producing and reproducing a world of haves and have-nots. In fact, because we don't move beyond the paradigm and the ethos and the mindset of handling the lesser things, we cannot prove to ourselves that a world is possible. It does not include haves and, come on, have-nots. In fact, most of us, if you ask, deep down, don't believe in a world that can exist beyond haves and have-nots, superior me and inferior you. Are you with me? And so these lesser things, this lesser paradigm, this lesser ethos and way of seeing and moving through the world is what constitutes the birthplace of the isms and the phobias. The isms and the phobias. What did I say? Come on, the isms and the phobias come out of this lesser way of seeing and being in the world. This is where you get the racism and the sexism and the elitism and the materialism. This is where you get the Islamophobia and the homophobia. Because we move in a world where the size of our conversation is so tiny, so small, so childish, that we cannot perceive the world that the prophets, the saints, and the sages have always foretold. Who knows what I'm talking about? And so it's operating in this lesser ethos in life that for many of us have actually been what has advantaged us in the world. In fact, some of us made it to Unity, to a place like this, because you heard that we will teach you how to manifest the things that you want to have in your life. Is that right? You came here because you heard that we will teach you the principles for healing your body, yes? Teach you the principles for making your pocketbook fatter, yes? Teach you the principles for living a life of health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money. Did you not come here for that? Tell the truth and stay in church today. And so we have aided and abetted. We have aided and abetted you in getting better at manifesting a world of haves and have-nots, a world of materialism, and even a world of racism because of a misunderstanding and a misapplication of these principles. Are you here today? So I come back from Harvard because I know better, and when you know better, now you got to, come on, do better. We're here for a spiritual course correction and an upgrade in how we interpret and use the principles that we have been entrusted with. Have you got it? And so our goal is to evolve and to get a right understanding of our teaching. And when we can evolve our approach and our application of this teaching, then we can be about the business of doing the greater things. Have you got it? So let me just say something for a minute. If you came here because you are having a health challenge, and you know that the teachings in this spiritual community is an incubator for you having an overcoming in your physical body, so that overcoming your spiritual body so that you can experience healing, tell somebody on your left and right, don't stop there. Are you hearing me? If you came in here because you are sick and tired of being, come on, sick and tired. That looks like half of the church in here. I see some live streamers flashing through on that one. If you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, unhappy, broke, sick, afraid, in bondage in some way, shape, or form, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and you came into a community where you are seeking to have greater happiness and hope in your life, I say to you, if you get that in this spiritual community, come on, don't stop. Say it again. Don't stop there. If you have come into this spiritual community because you have faced an injustice, and you have come and learned how to be in community and organize yourselves to overcome an injustice that you have faced, and you have demonstrated that we have the power to overcome the injustices that we face, and so now you've overcome an injustice and you're walking around showing your pictures on Facebook about how you overcame your injustice, don't stop. Don't stop there. Why? Because at this stage, are at the adolescent stage. This is adolescence. Yes, we have to stabilize our structures. Yes, we have to get the things that we need in order to enjoy a life that would have us be able to move in the world in meaningful and healthy ways. Is that right? But that is not enough. This is as my third grade teacher, Miss Green, said to me one day when I was misbehaving in class. I know you don't believe such a thing is possible. You thought I was polishing apples and being the teacher's pet my whole academic career. Just 9/10 of it. But there was an occasion where I was acting up in class, and my frustrated third grade teacher said to me, "That's all right, Kevin Ross. I already got mine. I got mine, so you get yours." I said, "Ooh, I'm telling my mama." I know she's not going to be happy to hear that you said, "I got mine and you get yours." But this is a direct reflection of our capitalistic worldview, our dog-eat-dog society, when we operate from values of competitiveness rather than cooperation. I'm out to get mine. Good luck for you. And so you're not here to only get for self. You are here to come and be healed. We are here to come and be prospered so that we can become candidates for the greater things. Are you hearing me? I recently took to watching this program, Hoarders. Now, if you're one, just look straight ahead. Don't you give yourself away. And you can see how, if we buy the formula that we are given about what makes for a life that is fulfilling, it is the accumulation of more stuff. And we use accumulation and acquisition as the remedy for solving the things that we don't want to face within ourselves. So then, You get to a point where you just got too much stuff to hide in secret. We coming over for Thanksgiving this year? Oh, no, can't do Thanksgiving at my house. Let's do it at your house. We always do it at my house. Why can't we do it at your house once in a while? Well, no, we coming over this year. And they come over and walk in the house and see from floor to ceiling. Anybody here today? Now, I'm not talking about any company present, but you might know somebody. And the reason I bring this up, the reason I am addressing this, is because we all have some stuff that we must address. Stuff, acronym, some terrific, unhealed fears and failures. Some terrific, unhealed fears and, come on, some terrific, unhealed fears and failures, STUFF. We have some stuff that we must address. But that is not the only reason why we're here. So that every time I have a conversation with you, my conversation with you is pulling me into your stuff. I don't get to be inspired in your presence because every time you open your mouth, you're talking about your, come on. And either the stuff that's paining you or the new stuff you just got. Did you hear what I said? We have been sent here to use the stuff of life to become the agents that the presence can use to transform our world. Are you hearing me today? And so we want to learn how to then adapt and adopt a greater ethos that moves me beyond these limited questions. When I'm in the limited consciousness, I am saying, it's all about me. Come on, say it with me. It's all about me. Let me ask you the question, is that where you are? And if it is where you are, don't stop there. Because there's a point in your life where it needs to be what? Come on. All about you. Getting your life together. Have you ever had to tell somebody, listen. The sentence always begins with listen. Will you mind your own business? Yeah, there's a stage of it's all about me that each one of us must be able to operate in parallel with the greater assignment of our lives. Are you with me? We don't want to stop at this all about me stage. Then there's the it's all about them. Ever heard about that? It's a stage where you come into the realization that there are forces in the world that are seeking in some way, shape, or form to prevent, to co-opt, to create an imbalance, an injustice, a harm. And so we park ourselves in the consciousness that it's all about them, and we feel good because we know how to do the lingo. We know how to talk it real well, depending on who the them is. I remember somebody said to me, Rev Kev, they said, this is when I first got here, there was a lot of, they said. Well, they said, that I can do this and that and the other, and they said that you shouldn't do this, that, and the other. I said, well, will you go and invite they in here? Go get they. And I'm not talking about the gender identity. I'm talking about the they, the mystical they, that locks us into a paradigm of victimhood. I'm limited because of they. Or them. Are you with me? And so we don't want to stay at the they stage and the them stage as it relates to an outside power that is preventing you from being, doing, and having what God has sent you and meant for you to be, do, and to have. It's okay to identify that there are forces in the world that must be addressed, but tell somebody, don't stop there. When we are operating from there, we are operating in a world of dangerous binaries. I'm going to get a little political for a minute. Is that all right? Well, too bad. It's all. I just earned a degree in religion and public life. I'm going to use it a little bit today. Dangerous binaries that feed a society of polarization is the they consciousness that causes us to have a cowarded imagination of what's possible because the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, the Independent Party is out there in the world. And until they are eliminated from the face of the earth, if you had it your way, talk to me today, until they are gone, we will never move forward. And so it is in our capacity to move beyond this stage that we can then begin to see what the prophets saw. We can begin to see what the saints and the sages saw. We can begin to see what Charles Fillmore saw when he got a quickening in his dream and a word called unity. Not just a cute catchphrase and a beautiful logo. It's the idea of universal oneness that has to happen when individuals come beyond the sophomoric and the adolescence in their spiritual development. Everybody here today? Yes. You see, when I was a child, I thought as a child, reasoned as a child, behaved as a child. But when I became fully grown, I put away, childish things, childish thinking. We're not going to get out of the world by eliminating the rest of the world. You understand that? War is not the success strategy for the human household. Do you understand that? Never forget being in the tub. My mother was a conservationist before it became popular. A water conservationist at that. There are 3 sons, so she figured it's bath time. We'll get all 3 of you in there. Including my younger brother who had a leaky bladder situation. Am I telling your story right now? And so we're in there playing with the Fisher-Price toys that had been so generously provided for us. I'm in the front, my middle brother's in the middle, and the leaky bladder's in the back. And just playing. And back in those days, we had big tubs, so you can go down underwater and really be in the water, scuba diving and all of that, with all 3 of us in there with leaky bladder. And eventually, there was a discoloration that slowly moved from the back of the tub to the front of the tub, and the water that was white and not clear became a kind of tinged yellow. I said, Tim, did you pee in the tub? He said, it's on my side. It's on my side of the tub. It's on my side of the tub. And this is the thinking that we operate with as we move through the world. If I pollute the world, it's on my side of the world. If I kill half of a society with weapons of war, it's on my side. I haven't touched this part of the world. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So we want to move beyond these dangerous binaries that replicate violences for which we are principally opposed. Because somehow or other, even in our inclusive theology, there is someone that we're better than. Are you hearing me? I heard our president mention that yesterday. Couldn't resist not getting it in. And I do want you to know this is the last time I'm giving you credit for it, but I'm going. Tell someone, at least he's honest, at least he's on. So we move from the it's all about them consciousness to the it's all about us consciousness. That is that we now shift our ethos from living in a world where I come from a place that my personal development, my spiritual growth is just not for me only or to overcome something outside of me only. No, it is about the greater community. And this is why we're celebrating today, because you got beyond this idea that if I benefit Kevin Ross going to Harvard University, it's going to take something from me. No, it's going to contribute to the world that you want to see. Have you got it? Moving into this consciousness brings us to a fundamental teaching in unity that states, I am one with God, I am one with all people, I am one with all life, I am one with the one. Say it after me, I am one with God, I am one with all people, I am one with all life, I am one with the one. One more time, I am one with God. I am one with all people. I am one with all life. I am one with the one. This is the operating ethos for the teachings of this ministry. But tell somebody, don't stop there. Tell them quickly, don't stop there. So now we get the it's about us consciousness, but then the us that I'm speaking of is the us that extends to the people that I like, the people that I live, work, and worship with. Talk to me today. The people who identify themselves as unity and new thought or something of that kind. The people who are of the same race or religion or spiritual. Are you with me today? Say, be careful about the way, even when you get to a place where you see it's all about us, it's not only all about us, it's about all of us. Come on, it's about, come on, all of us. And when we awaken to that consciousness, we start living from the place where we can see everybody having enough to eat. We can see people living well in their homes. We can see people having adequate education. We can see people having the health care to take care of their body, to have money to pay their needs, meet their bills, and to enjoy. We can see people traveling like we travel. We can see the world as we see it for ourselves. Are you here? This is the standpoint that this ideal is calling us to. This is the Jesus consciousness that we are speaking of. This is why Jesus says, blessed are the peacemakers, not the peace fakers and the peace takers that lived in the lower register of those old paradigms, not the peace takers and fakers. You know, they're those that sing, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. And then we'll cuss you out one side up, down the other on the parking lot if you happen to get in front of them in traffic. The peace fakers. Don't put on a good act for church. Tell somebody this is the lab. Come on, tell them this is the lab. This is what? Come on. This is the lab. We are in the lab. This is a laboratory assignment that is helping us attain a certain level of consciousness so that we can be candidates for the miracles that we are wishing to see in the world. Candidates. We become candidates for that miracle when we catch this idea. And this idea, this ethos is so old. It's the South African ethos of Ubuntu that says, I am because we are, and because we are, come on, therefore, come on, I am. It is the Islamic idea that says, want for your brother and your sister what you want, come on, for yourself. This is an ancient idea wrapped in a packaging called unity, but it is not limited to unity. We must learn to extend our branches over many fences and see the powerful intersectionality and interconnectedness of this great planet that we've been entrusted with. When we come into this awareness, then we can be candidates for the miracles that we want to see in the world. It was not until we came into a realization that I am because we are, and because we are, therefore I am, that Moses could walk up and part the Red Sea, pray and get the Red Sea to part. Why? Because he was operating from a place that was more than me, mine, and ours. He needed some God power, some spiritual power, something to intervene in and through him. You're not here to learn these principles so you can manifest a parking space. You've heard me tell this one before. I'm wrapping up now. Come on, help me out of here. You've heard me, I was riding with my dear brother, James Traff, the senior minister of Spiritual Life Center, who was here yesterday with us. And we were going to meet with another great leader for lunch. And we were getting close to the restaurant, to the front of the restaurant, and noticed that there was all these filled parking spaces. So I said, "Don't worry, James. I got this. Watch me manifest as a parking space right down front." And I did my metaphysiling thing that we do. And bam, the car pulls out, and we pull right in. In fact, this happened with Kaden and I just the other day. Pull right into the parking space, and I sat there proudly of myself because I did a thing. James Trapp says, "Yes, that's good, son. But I've moved on for using and harnessing my powers for the greater things." Are you hearing me? We're getting the power. We're learning the principles. We're healing our bodies. We're becoming more prosperous so that we can be engaged in the business of the greater things. Engaged in a powerful realization that there is a world that exists within us that's waiting to be released that can work for everyone. This is the greater thing that we have been prepared to do. This is now the evidence that you have moved through these stages. You're moving in the world as a peacemaker. And when you come to that stage where you operate and you can see it is the normative idea in your mind that it all works for all of us or it doesn't work at all. It is the normative idea in your mind that no one is left out. It is the normative idea in your mind that there's plenty to spare and to share for everyone. You are moving in the world as a peacemaker, and then you qualify to hear Jesus say, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God." And that's what we're working on here. We're working to become the living embodiment that can be called the children of God. Whatever God you believe in, whatever good you believe in, whatever love you believe in, let's move through the world as become the child of God. And we will see a world of peace, prosperity, and love for all. And so it is written. And so I have spoken it, and so you have heard it, and so it is. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. God bless you.